another tough opponent. Ooh, can we play a dummy gambit? Dummy? Do it? Yes! Let's go! What a fun line. Dummy gambit on the board. Leisha still thinks I'm an NM because I haven't told him I'm an FM. It's a big process. And I'm lazy. My bad. But play king g8, h6 is not the right move. Wait. Okay, it's like here. Takes. This would be infinite checks, right? I need to remember my own line. There's actually a really funny line here. There's a really funny line. This is infinite checks. I'll just demonstrate that for a sec. Right? But, okay. We just need a rook here. We need one more thing to hit that king, right? Before he gets some pieces out, like here, here. So we're going to play h4, threatening to crack this open. Any pawn trade wins. He's got to play g4, right? And then the key idea is h5. And all I'm literally threatening is h6, hg7, and it just underscores how terrible all of these pieces are. Bishop e6, I think, is the only move that survives. Because if, say, knight c6, h6, nothing black can do. Knight e5 takes checkmate with that rook. So he takes, he's here. I'm going to go check, draw the king into the checking radius of that bishop. And then I think we're just going to crack it back open. Don't mind if I do here and here again. Just arrange it. Is that literally what it is? I don't even remember. Queen f7, e5, h6. Does that just do it here? I think check and h6 is also quite decisive. Pretty clearly so. This is pretty nice if this works. Queen f7, and I'm literally just going to go h6, hg7, and there's nothing they can do. That's unreal if that's true. I think, but this was in my own video on the dummy gambit. This is in my own video, but yeah, what a line. We draw the king into such an improbable scenario. And king g8 was literally the right move after e6 check. There were all these options of take, or retreat, or step out. King g8 was the right move. Knight g5, h6 makes so much sense to just hit that knight, but it gets mated immediately. Queen h5, queen f7, check, and then this h4, trying to make that pawn trade, plays g5 to dodge it, and we're just going to go here and here, use the pin, and just slowly but surely get him. There's just nothing you can do because he can't challenge the queen right away. That's not protected. It takes 2 moves to challenge the queen, and by that point I just take it and checkmate. Only thing that stops this pawn is the king, and that's checkmate. What a position. And so even if we go back here, there's nothing they can. So bishop takes e6 was the one thing that could distract my queen. Knight c4, yeah, it's just desperate. I don't even want that knight. I'm just advancing here and takes and resigns. Wow. Wow. Wait, so it automatically did a computer analysis. Dummy Gambit Supremacy. Dummy Gambit Supremacy. Oh my goodness. So against the Alekhine, and the Dummy Gambit, I literally named it that way. I chose, out of all the names in the world, I chose Dummy Gambit so that you guys remember it's for dummies. It doesn't work. Don't do it. Do as I say, not as I do. This is bad. Because if black does everything right, you are just down a piece. But, that might not happen. But don't do it. So bishop c4. So we play knight f3, d6 is what Alekhine players do. Bishop c4. We attack the knight. It's not really a good move because knight b6, or it's actually not so bad. Like you can just play bishop b3, and then you can still pretend you're normal, castles d4, whatever. But of course that's not what we came here to do. We came here to play bishop takes f7 and get 2 question marks and a minus 4.4 position after move 5. Wouldn't it settle for anything less? So king takes an e6 check. So this is all covered in my original video on the dummy gambit. But the point is, if they play bishop takes e6, which would be the most logical, now we're down just a clean piece. We can play knight g5 check, and if they go back knight takes e6, it's actually very good for us. Now the material is equal. And if they play king f6, then there's some very, very fun checkmating patterns here. Black has already lost in this position. And king takes e6, or any way the king steps out, very similarly. Very, very fun checkmating ideas that are all covered, all those lines that are covered in my video. So King E8 is another move that I get a lot, but still Knight G5, and this is actually quite bad because Knight F7 is now going to trap the queen. There's really only one good thing Black can do, and that's King G8. Very different than King E8 because this is actually not threatening to trap the queen. And so I'll touch on what Black should do. It's this move Queen E8 so that Knight F7. Now they can just take here. And then this is just quite bad for white because there's just two pieces for the rook, and that's just not a good trade. And black here is doing totally, totally fine. So that's not what white should do. White should try to play queen f3 and try to get queen f7 checkmate. I've also gotten this a number of times. Actually, we can check out my record in the dummy gambit. Here, let me turn that on. Turn on the database. Let's see how successful this has been for me. Ah, oh my. Wait, I literally didn't even know that. I literally didn't even know that. Guys, can are we all seeing the same thing here? Are we all seeing the same thing? 100% 9 for 9 against. This is some pretty high ratings. I don't know. Some high ratings here. Literally 9 for 9 with the dummy gambit in this position. That's crazy. Uh, okay. Don't do it though. Okay, don't do it. E6 check. So King G8 and H5. Here's why you shouldn't do it. Because wow, 4 people have even played Queen E8 against me. But we get to play here Queen to F3, threatening Queen F7 checkmate. And so only 2 people have played the 2 out of 4 have played the correct move G6. No, no. You're getting all the wrong ideas. Don't do it. So if they play your h6, that doesn't do anything against this checkmate threat of queen f7 takes. And what a gorgeous checkmate that is with the knight controlling these squares and the king boxed out by its own pieces. None of the other pieces doing much. Remember, this is actually always quite good for white, with just a really dominant knight there that can really just live there. But otherwise here, if black just plays g6, you're not checkmating them. This is very bad. Minus 3.3, and I don't know how I won all 3 games in this position, but somehow I have. I literally didn't even know that. Okay, so I mean the idea I've played is queen e4, so at least if my knight is driven away, at least I'm holding onto this pawn for a minute. But you're just down a clean piece. But h4 h5 is like an idea I like to do. Whatever, I like to bring out my other stuff. Um, I have no words. So anyway, in the game, knight g5. Let's get back to the game. They played h6, didn't even play queen e8. And h6 is a really, really fun line in the video. The engine evaluates this to equality, but I think after queen h5... Okay, so yeah, there's this nasty move, rook h7. Only move to not get checkmated immediately. Very strange. But I think everyone here is going to play h takes g5 as happened in the game. And now here we have this really fun winning line where check, and we can, okay, this is a draw, obviously, I don't want one. H4, threatening to open up the rook. So any trade here by literally any move would open up the rook and checkmate with the queen controlling everything. So black needs to play this move g4, and then just h5, just advance this. We don't have any other pieces playing, and we sacrificed too many of them. But we do have this rook that we're trying to free with just h6, h takes g7, and there's really nothing black can do to stop that. So funny. Can't do anything about the rook. Can't do anything to stop the pawn advancement because king h6 now gets rid of that retreat square. So in the game, bishop takes e6, and this is actually the critical thing to remember. If you just play queen takes e6, well then here black can play like queen e8, cover some squares, and okay, h6 g6, right? You don't have this pin anymore, so you can't just take that back. Check. Bring that back. Now you take it. Now the king's right there instead of here. This is check. Now they come back. Now we come back to f7, and we just had the prior position with the bishop and pawn on the board. Really nothing changed. And we're going to play h6 with the pin, so no g6. We're going to force that pawn trade to happen. We're going to force that file to be open. And knight c4 didn't even want that. I mean, okay, queen e8 is what they can play to not get mated. But yeah, they lose their queen. It's not a safe square. So knight c4, h6. Yeah, from -4 to +6 in a couple moves. From -4 to +6 to checkmate on move 17. What a game. What an opening. I'm 9 for 9 in this, and that includes 3 games from like -4 positions. Someone needs to beat me. This is bad. This is bad. Don't play this, YouTube. If you're watching, don't do it. Don't do it. But subscribe. Do subscribe. But don't play it. I hope everyone got the lesson there of why not to play this opening. Hope I was very clear and convincing that you shouldn't do it.